For a while I've had my main TV, actually for probably close to a decade. I've had this TV on an arm, and I like it. You know, I don't have to use the table space below. I'm now combining the contents of 2 homes into one small place. So all my monitors and all my TVs are going to be on arms, I determined, not just this one. I'm going to put an arm right above this one for a second monitor, where my security is going to be, and actually I can watch 2 TV programs if I want. We'll see how it turns out. But I got another TV that I can use up here. All my TVs are older too, and all my monitors are older. I bought them all when they were still fluorescent, not LED. So all my monitors and TVs are a little bit old. I bought them pretty much all at once. Maybe 10 years ago-ish. My other home was what I call a commuter home. I used to work a job that was too far to commute to, so I had a second home. And it was another small place. It also served as my office because I had a high-speed internet, you know, cable TV internet over there. And my entertainment and everything and computer were all there. So now I'm putting all the stuff back here. Here's one of the main TVs I had there. I've already got it mounted to the wall. And again, I'm going to put another mount above here for a monitor that's going to hold security. And that's this old, crummy old monitor I got here. It's pretty much tired. I'm going to use this old monitor, featured in another video where I tried to fix the audio and it was too far gone. The speakers are both wasted and the audio chip itself is blown, I believe. Anyway, it's going to be my security monitor, just showing an outside scene. Probably won't even use audio for that one. Driveway camera. But that'll be mounted right above this TV. And then below this TV, I'm going to have this double-armed configuration of my 2 monitors for the computer. And this arrived via United Parcel Smashers, as Bill would call them, US Microwave Bill. And within the bag was this box, or remains of a box, just like dissolved. I mean, imagine something this pathetic. And the stuff inside was all bin rashed really bad too. Parts rubbing against each other. Luckily they were powder coated, so even though they're all gouged up, the coating's gouged up and all, they still are coated pretty well. And if you don't look at the surface real carefully, you wouldn't notice. So I don't think it'll be too noticeable if they're all scratched up. Here's the pile of bases so far. I actually ordered 3 more arms. One for the monitor above this one, like I showed, and one for the monitor above the other room where I showed. I'm also going to put a 3rd one in my test bench. So on one of my future test benches here, my secondary neglected test bench, so to speak, there's a little monitor in back there that I just trash picked recently. I was going to use this other monitor, now I got to get rid of it. And this monitor I'm going to put on an arm as well, off the side support arm of the bench. And that way I won't be knocking into it, won't be in the way, won't take any real estate of the bench up. So there'll be an arm roughly in that right side somewhere. Probably where that second from the top shelf is. Really bolted to the side. Back to this double-armed contraption. They only gave me screws for the top 2 screws. They give me 4 of one type of screw and 4 of another type of screw. So most monitors need this little screw. So you can only really hook it to the top. I did find some in my scrap box though, screws you can lock in the bottom 2 holes with. So I'll do that. I've been kind of arranging this to figure out how it's going to work. They had these little rubber holes in the hole plugs. You had to pry out the little holes. Use the smaller set of screws. One thing I didn't figure out is how to remove this guy. I don't really want to be violent about it. It'd be nice to be able to reuse them. If anybody's played with Asus monitors before knows how to easily pop this in or out. There is a screw in there. I took it out, didn't seem to really do much. Didn't really like pop out or anything. One has 2 screws. They go in there, and one has 1 screw, but I took the 1 screw out, didn't really loosen anything. So I could use some hints on that. And if I can't remove them, then they'll just serve for cable management, you know, and not really in the way. The other bit of retro engineering is the support for the pole. And they give you the support. And I'm just playing with these screws for an idea. I kind of need something a little bit stronger than these. But 4 of them I think will be enough to make it work. Be strong enough for 4 of them. They're deck screws. And I'm going to mount it this way. And it's supposed to be mounted the other way. And these only 2 of the holes used to mount to this heavy duty clip and then clamp to your back of the desk. I don't want to do that. I want it mounted to the wall. So I have a little more space between me and the monitor. And of course with the arms I can pull them in and out. So I want to mark it on the wall. So instead of having this thing upright, I'm going to go this way so it doesn't show as much on the wall. The only problem with that is the hole is tapered and the bolt they gave me won't go both ways. If I go the other way through, it's not long enough because the taper doesn't work for me. It sticks out further. So I found another bolt, metric bolt, that I can go all the way through with. And the threads in the pipe, you know, have a blind hole that go all the way in, so it gets a little tight because it wasn't threaded too well. It wasn't threaded very precisely. It's not quite collinear. It's a little bit off, actually, on this side. But it does go all the way through like a nut, so I can use that long bolt without trimming it. So with this set I had to use these extension brackets along with the basic 4 here. And that works out pretty smoothly. This has got like a 6 pattern on it. Middle holes aren't used. I've got a TV near the room that's the same pattern too. Use the outer rectangle. On this TV, it came with a plate for that 6 pattern, this metal plate here. But this TV didn't have that, nor the 4 pattern, of course. So I had to go all the way out and make a plate for it. This wooden plate I made and painted it. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Not brain surgery or anything like that, but easy to figure out, but still kind of a pain. But it worked. And I got this bracket mounted the way I wanted it, but unfortunately the pipe is defective. So I took the end out of the one end of the pipe, the plastic cap, but this end fell out when I tried to torque it up. These 3 welds, you can't even see where the weld didn't stick on this side, it stuck to the other pipe. And then these 2 against the pipe, they didn't really stick. It's real poor welding. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Either clean it real good and epoxy it, a big huge goop of epoxy, and grease the bolt so it doesn't get frozen in there. Or maybe I'm going to pound wood inside that pipe and ream a big wood screw through it when I get enough wood in there. Let's see what I can do. That might be what I do, probably the wood approach. So luckily in the configuration I have it, I'm not really fighting gravity. I just don't want it to rock. I want it to be relatively stable. I was going to do the wood approach, but I found this plumbing piece joint for PVC. It fits in here real tightly. I think if I pound it in and then drop this piece in from the other way and get it started in the bolt, I've got a long screwdriver I can reach through here and restrain it with. If I get to start, I think that'll do it. And after tightening the bolt at the bottom, it swells up the PVC a little bit. I had to pound this on, which meant I had to put earplugs on. It took a while to pound it on, but it still would move at that point. And then after tightening this up, I can't even turn it. And I replaced the cap I removed earlier, trim cap. And there they are, mounted as I'm going to have them. I'm a little disappointed with this mount, this dual mount. It's just way too flimsy. Maybe with small light monitors. These monitors are kind of heavy. But the little arm here is plastic. That's kind of flexing down. The way the post-all interface is, it's kind of sloppy. All that weight, just not built to take it. Those welds would never hold, a defective part I had. So, a lot about it's not very good. I wouldn't choose this mount again or recommend it. Even with my retro engineering, aside, it still wouldn't be great. It might be a little stiffer hanging downwards, But just in general, the whole mount is pretty flaky. So I bought both of these models off of eBay, and they were both sold fairly generically. They didn't state the brand. This that dual mount that I wasn't too happy with, I mean, it works. This is all the instructions you get with it, and a bare minimum of hardware, only 2 screws for each monitor. This other kit, the it came through USPS instead of UPS, and it arrived in good condition. I tore it open already. But these Huskies are, you can see how nice the packaging arrived compared to the other packaging for the other one that came through UPS. This was shipped. Ouch. I should have got a little knife out. But, it comes neatly packed in a small box. Get a pretty in-depth manual, mostly just pictures, but all the engineering drawings, So, you get a ton of hardware. And my only problem with the hardware is I ended up using the bolt cutter on these long ones to make them shorter. It would have been nice if they would have included some short ones too. They want you to use, a ton of washers. That's why they give you all these black washers to make up the difference. So they have a more universal application, I guess. But in practice, all I ended up using was the little bolts. It depends on your monitor, of course. And a couple others in assembly, but it's a nice kit. It comes in good condition. Little tool I didn't use, tools I didn't use. Even some anchors for a soft wall. I wouldn't want to put it in a soft wall though. These nice big bolts were good for the plate. And mounting it's a real simplicity because you basically just mount this plate and you got a nice little cover for it. So it's as simple can be. You just got to put 3 holes in the wall, We'll put 1 pilot hole actually, and then drill these other ones when you got the thing in place. And that's it, So it's simple, it's basic, it works. The photographs they showed in the arms, got to be somewhere. Here's the little arms. The photograph they showed in eBay wasn't identical to what it actually arrived with. But what I did get, I'd like. Husky Mounts Plus. The other mount. On this little monitor, I don't need the arms. They fit this panel perfectly. I had these screws that came with this monitor. With the stand, I guess. When I took the stand off, I had these screws left. I put the big flat washer that came with the Husky kit underneath this panel. And there's like a raised plastic berm so it doesn't roll around, it just sits there securely. And then I used the small washers that came with the Husky kit around these screws, which are original to this unit. And I'll just tighten them up and I'll be ready. And then they just have like thumb screws. So these 2 pegs just go right to the mount after you have the mount mounted with the 3 bolts to the wall. This simply slides in, you hold it, and quickly throw these wing nuts on back, and you know, it's that simple. So simple, easy, good quality stuff. I like the Husky kit. I used carriage bolts to attach this arm to the workbench. So having a monitor on the arm makes it so I don't lose any bench space to a monitor that would otherwise take up a lot of bench space.